I went for the Hail Mary shot. Pick a card. I didn't need a dog. I just needed my boy Feeks. We put him down quick. Let's go. What we got here is a full-blown show. All right.
She looks like fucking Ace Ventura right now, dude, when he's got his hair all spiked up. There's no lion team, but there is me. And it was caught in the bushes, and I saw it just drop. I'm like, little dog, big farts.
A couple of yahoos sitting on the porch. This is the key to preserving anything. Protein.
Dessert, hydration.
Today's recap is brought to you by Wild Fit. Some of their products, Deadshot. In the summer, we got to test it out, and it was pretty good. Used it quite a few times on the links. Helped me hit some good hole-in nuns. And also helped Shano get this last buck here a few weeks ago, which we're going to recap now. So thanks, Wild Fit.
Thanks for keeping me calm.
You said, like, originally they were giving you a hard time before this day.
I've been getting the runaround since October 1st. I would set up one spot, my stand, sit there, and all the deer would come out 100 yards away. I could see them moving. Bucks chasing does moving through, bucks passing through. So then I was trying to figure out the area. I'd move my stand a little bit, and then they'd be back to where I was the day before. And then, I'd have two stands in there. They were like 300 yards apart. They're not next to each other, but same general area. One different scrape lines or different travel routes, and I would sit in one stand. I'd go and look at my camera on the way out, and there was a buck in front of my other stand when I wasn't there. So I sit there the next day, and then they're back at the other spot. So I was just every day since October 1st, just getting the runaround.
So walk us through the day, right? So was it early? You shot it late.
We'll back up to Tuesday. Wednesday was the opening day of rifle season.
The Chronicles.
We're going way back.
Oh, the first 4 days go by real quick because I didn't see shit. Went Tuesday night, had a nice 8-point come in, 20 yards at 5:30. He winded me and took off, and I was like, oh, there goes that one. Sun comes up opening day, heard a couple of shots around me, saw absolutely nothing the first morning, not even a movement of a squirrel, nothing. I was like, well, I'm sitting in my ground blind, mind you. So I sit till 10:30, 11. Decided to pack up that ground blind. I was going to hunt my stand in the afternoon. So I go back to the truck. I brought a sandwich. I eat lunch. And on my way out, I check my camera. Sure as shit, 8-point walks in front of my tree stand, 200 yards away, 7:30 opening morning.
Oh, I didn't know that. That stinks,
So I was
dude.
like, are you kidding me right now?
Right.
Like, I chose the wrong stand. I would have been done. So I eat lunch. I drive around some trails, see who else is in the general area hunting. And then I'm back in my stand by 1 o'clock on the other side. It's basically overlooks a big swamp.
Wait, I don't mean to cut you off,
Yeah.
but like, you told us that you sit all day.
Oh,
That ain't
if
sitting
you're
all
seeing
day.
deer, I ain't seeing nothing. I'm moving.
Anyways, sorry.
So I'm back up at 1, and it's like 70 degrees. I think I was hunting in the hoodie.
So, Logan, you're eating sandwiches in the trees, is what you're saying?
Heck yeah,
I've
if I'm
done
sitting
that.
all day, dude, it's an all-day sit.
If it's normal weather, I'd sit all day. But when it's 70 degrees and you're sitting in a ground blind, sweating,
Dude, I watched Logan eat bark. He's crazy.
He just swings around with his saddle and just chows out right next to you.
Dude, you pack as many snacks as you can. You make little tasks and battles for yourself.
bro.
Like,
I got a high metabolism. I'm done by 10. My snacks are done.
Then you also got to pack your Wild Fit so you stay calm and focused.
exactly. Continue.
Anyways, so I go out Thursday morning. I sit, see absolutely nothing. It was like 65 by like 8 a.m.
It was even warmer
It
on
was
Thursday.
so warm. It was ridiculous. So I ended up getting into work Friday at 3 a.m. I was like, we're going to get in, get some work done, and be out by 2 and get up in my stand. So I'm sitting there, and I don't see anything from 3 to 5. A few minutes later, last light's 5:40, I think, something around there. And I start hearing footsteps behind me, some crunching and some sticks and leaves. And I look and I see a deer moving through the trees. He's checking a bunch of rubs that are in this corner that he's in. And I turn, put the scope on him, pull the trigger. I watch him buck and heel kick.
Almost shoot the camera off the tree.
It was over top. That's just the recoil. But I hit it. I knew I hit him because he heel kicked, he bucked, and then he spun, and he took off to my left to the east. And then he stopped, and I lost him behind some fallen, some turned over cedars, the root wads.
This is where it gets interesting.
It got dark. I climbed down on my stand. I just shot this deer. He disappeared. It's probably 5 minutes later. I get down and walk over there. I find good blood. I text the group chat. Just shot one. He heel kicked. Took off. There's blood. I'm all amped.
Wait, I just gotta ask. Like, I've
Yep.
never heard someone say heel kick. Honestly.
Heel kick, buck. It's the same thing.
Mule kick is what you're thinking, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that or I've just never heard it, so I was just curious. Like, is that what your family says?
That's what folk from Chesterfield say.
Okay.
We didn't get the dictionary. When we were
No,
growing
I'm
up.
not dogging on you. I'm just curious because I've never heard that.
You have now.
I think a heel kick, what like the old like Mr. Rogers going down the neighborhood and clicking his heels and jumping. Like, I don't know.
Little Dorothy action.
Yeah,
I'm learning a lot of new lingo this year.
but that's fine. Like I said, I wasn't dogging.
Sounds
I was
like you
just
got a
curious.
problem with the way I talk.
Dude, figure it
Yes.
out. That's to everybody.
You civil
right.
engineers talk make it too complicated always.
So he mule kicked. I'm going to throw that in there. He mule kicked.
So
So,
is it
anyways,
mule now or a deer?
still a deer. He
Still
mule
a deer.
kicked.
Why didn't you just say bucked, heel kick,
All right.
heel click?
Moving on. So I text everybody. I got a good chat, and then he calls and is like, "Hey, you need help looking for it?" And I saw good blood. I was like, "Yeah, come on over." Mind you, it's a 45-minute drive, but he's here for the boys.
Always.
So wait, at what time did you call Pete? Do you think? Because I was
5:35.
Okay.
Well, he called me.
Yeah. I said I just got to eat real quick. I had just gotten DoorDash Thai food, and it was slapping, dude.
This dude orders more food than DoorDash itself.
Oh,
So, but you weren't
Papa
actually
was
won't-
hungry.
Should have DoorDashed out to the woods. You're out there long enough.
but you weren't passing out candy this time.
No candy. No, that was Logs where I bought 2 pounds of trick or treat snacks, and I had one trick or treater, which was sweet.
Anyways,
So I saw, had I not found a good initial pile of blood, I would have just backed out until the morning to look for him. And someone actually commented this on our TikTok. They were unbelievable that we left this deer overnight and still ate it when we found it. In Michigan, it was like 30 degrees at night. Deer was fine. So,
Yeah, people are opinionated.
well,
on
he
that
said
TikTok.
he said he was from Texas, and
Oh, that makes
the
sense.
coyotes and the meat spoils overnight. It doesn't do that here in Michigan, especially this late in the season.
A coyote could
A
have.
coyote, yeah, a coyote for sure, but it wasn't gonna rot it didn't get above 30.
but you know what? It's better to let that deer
Yeah.
die peacefully when it beds that first time than chasing it all around the county.
Yep,
Pushing it.
because if
Yeah,
it was a gut
exactly.
shot, he would have went 20 yards and just bedded down, and you don't want to get up there, push him, and then he takes off 60 yards. There's no blood, and then you can't find him, or you keep pushing him farther and farther. But there was a ton of red blood, right where I hit him, some hair. The way he reacted, I was like, that was a good hit. So he comes. I was like, I'll wait for Pete. He gets there, probably 6:30. We go look for it. 10 yards of good blood, and then it starts trickling, and nothing. The deer just Houdini'd.
Yeah, it was wild. It was the last blood spot was wild. There was like 4 or 5 drops, all kind of directional to a certain place, and so we fanned and covered all that, and there was just no more blood after that.
Literally, we looked till about 8:30. Could not find a drop of blood after that 10 yards, and there was a good pot splatter. The twigs in the back were all splattered with blood, and then nothing. Just the deer literally vanished.
Did he mule kick out of there?
He heel kicked.
He's like Dorothy. Clicked her heels together and off
Went home.
out of Kansas they go.
This podcast is gonna come with a dictionary in the subtitles.
A friend group dictionary of words that just don't make sense.
I mean, you should be me reading some of these texts. I'm like, I know they shot one, but I don't.
I feel like I have to put on like readers, like an old person. Just
So it's 8:30. We looked everywhere. We're pushing every direction. I was like, I know he went left. Pete's like, maybe he went right. I'm like, I just saw him go left. And at 8:30, he's got a determination. He'll look till freaking 1 a.m. looking for this deer. I'm like, we'll back out, wait for this light.
Pete being stubborn.
That's crazy.
No.
Never.
I'm
So,
a bulldog.
8:30, we let's call it. So we head out, and I head home. I get home at like 9:30, and Logan texts me and says, "You want help in the morning looking for it?" I said, "I mean, absolutely, if you really want to."
Thank God you said yes.
Thank God I said yes. So I ended up going. I woke up. Mind you, I've been up since 3 a.m. and I got home at 9, and I had to get back up at 4 because I wanted to sit in my stand if I was going to be there anyway, in case anything else walked by. So I get to my stand, and I get up there, and sun comes up, cold as hell. Nothing. Didn't hear, see anything.
Was it cold as hell that morning?
It was cold
Yeah,
as
it was
hell.
that Saturday
It was
morning.
like 30, 25,
yeah,
30.
Yeah, it was pretty cold.
That's what. That's.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want the deer to eat spoil.
You only know because you sat for the first time
Oh yeah.
since
that
like
was
high
that
school.
same morning.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You were
It
doing
wasn't
all
that
right.
cold. It wasn't that cold.
Just a little
was pretty fucking
fidgety,
cold.
just not finding
No,
comfort.
really,
in
it
that state.
was like the last 30 minutes. I was
Dude,
like,
that's
all
what
right.
that's what
He's in
always
the
happens.
Coast Guard.
Starting to
When-
set in a little bit.
When you get up there, you're excited, and then we didn't see anything all day. So then you start thinking, and as soon as you start thinking, it's over, dude. Your feet hurt, your fingers hurt.
Yeah, it wasn't. Thank God that Logan gave me his stuff. It was pretty warm. I mean,
That night before too, when I got home, I had reached out to a bunch of dog trackers in the Grand Traverse County area. There's a couple flyers with different dog trackers for tracking deer.
how much does that usually run?
$50 to $100.
No, that's not too bad.
And turns out there's one just down the road from where I shot mine, probably 3-4 miles. And coincidentally enough, Logan knows him, which is just small world living.
Yeah, Traverse City, the biggest small town of all time.
Then, so 8:30, Logan shows up. I meet him at the truck. We go start looking, and same thing. 10 yards, 0 blood, nothing. Literally, the deer's freaking gone. I'm getting convinced that I gut shot at him, and we bumped him, and he took off, or I didn't hit him at all, or I nicked him. Just confused.
What was Logan's comment at that moment?
I mean, I've seen it before, and anyone that's hunted a bunch has. It's definitely an anomaly. You're just like scratching your head, like how the hell do we have like a pint of blood on the ground here, 4 drops, and then nothing.
And I mean, the way he acted too, and I hit him. I was like, I know he hit him good. Like it wasn't just
Right.
He didn't just stand there and look and then trot off, or he didn't just take off at a full spin. He
So,
kicked.
Logan, did yours mule kick when you shot him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, he
Yeah.
heel
So
kicked.
that's kind of like heel kick, yeah. Heel clacker or whatever you
Yeah,
want to call
that-
it.
Clap some heels.
And like
But does that's when you kind of know.
that's a
that
telltale
you
sign
you
that
hit
you hit him.
What if they like get on the ground and just kind of?
If
Maybe
they,
spined him.
if they hit the ground, then
Or hard shot.
It ain't going nowhere.
I
Like
mean,
if you drop a deer to the point where it falls over, you either hit
There's
the
a
shoulder or
difference,
you hit
though,
a spine.
Because you once told me that Logan draws 80 pounds, so that means like he'll put a deer back, like when you
No, that's
smoke him.
He's
Like, is that
just joking
true?
around.
Like,
Like,
okay,
I need to
so
get
you don't
his
actually
workout
move
regimen.
'em.
But like actually though, like when we talk about my deer, where I hit my deer, it deflected up. Logue probably would have blown through that shoulder.
Gotcha.
So his pulling an extra 20 pounds, and his is very weighted arrows that have very stiff spine on them. It would have hit that shoulder, probably just went straight through. Instead, mine hit, flexed, went up. Where Logue probably would have just blown that shoulder apart.
Gotcha.
There is a difference too, where both their deer this year were killed bows, and mine was a rifle during rifles. And I've killed I think a dozen deer or so during rifle season. That's how I grew up hunting, was rifle, going to deer camp. And I would say out of those dozen, 8 of them have just dropped in their tracks.
True.
Just
True.
the impact, the heart shots.
Yep.
It just it's a stronger powered weapon. So back, it's like 8:45, 9 o'clock. We start walking all over the place. Mind you, I'm hunting against private, 150 yards from private property, maybe. And the dog tracker, he's like, hey, I need you to have permission if you want me to come to go on that private property, because that's the way the deer headed. So we're looking at Onyx. Shout out Onyx, sponsor us. And we found the property owner. I'm like, how are we going to get a hold of this guy? Small town living, Logue.
I also did some research because we all share each other's locations just for hunting and whatnot, like just in case something happens. And I happened to see where they're at. Knew one of my high school friends. She lived right like next door, kitty corner to this piece of state land, and figured they probably knew that landowner. And sure enough, she got us in touch with them. And
so this is when you think you're gonna get a tracking dog at this point.
Yeah, it's probably
doing the
9:15, and I call him. He's like, oh, absolutely, go get on that land, go find that deer, get him out of there.
I didn't know tracking dogs were like this integral to deer hunting. Like
More so during bow
Murphy-
season, they come
Murphy's
into
a
play.
great tracker, right?
He's a great tracker. So they, I text me. He's like, sweet. I have to wait till 11 o'clock to be there. I gotta wait for the frost to burn off so the scent can, the dog can find some scent.
Gotcha.
So we're like, all right. He's like, don't walk around because he doesn't want our scent to overlay the deer scent, for this dog. Naturally, we walked around.
Especially Shano. And I mean, I get it too from your side of it. Like having to let a deer sit overnight.
Yep.
Is the worst feeling.
Right. Because
ever.
you don't know.
Have you had to do that?
Mind you,
Oh yeah.
Well, you just don't know if you're going to find it or not, which makes you feel awful because
Right.
you just wasted something you should have harvested.
part of the issue part of the reason I walked around so much with this is because I was really not certain we were going to get a dog out there being close to private property. I for
Fair.
sure did not expect Logan to have means to get the number of the dude. So I was just like, we're going to have to look. And
Log knows everybody that knows everybody.
he thank God he was there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's wrong with that?
So
That's a compliment.
So
I wish I knew more people that knew more people.
9:15. So we gotta wait till 11. 9:30, we start walking on this private property. We got permission on. We're like, I saw him go left, but we start walking to the right just because that's the way he came from originally. And sometimes,
Yeah, I
Logan
mean, he's
pointed
heel
out,
kicking all over the place. So he's
sometimes
gotta go everywhere.
they go back the way they came when they get hit. So we shout out Logan for that piece of tidbit information.
Where they're comfortable.
So we start walking, and we're walking around this private property for 15 minutes, and the wind starts to pick up as the day comes, lights coming on. And we're walking, and I walk right by it originally. I smelled it. I didn't say anything, and Logan goes, you smell that?
Well, I didn't know if Shane didn't brush his teeth that morning or he just shit his pants because it stunk. I'm like, dude, what the heck is that? Shane's just like, dude, it's a swamp, which they can be pretty stinky sometimes.
Fair.
But I was like, dude, that's not swamp.
I don't call it swamp ass for a reason. I mean,
Right.
it stinks. And so we turn around, we take 10 steps back, and we get the same scent, and Logan goes, he's right there.
Literally.
30 yards away underneath the cedar tree, just laying. He definitely died last night. I mean, the white belly up, but there was no blood. What he did is he went left like I saw him, and then at some point he turned around and went back right. And
So my instincts were actually good. And if he would have just followed my gut, we probably would have found it at 8:45.
he was probably 80 yards from where I shot him total. I think that's what I measured on Onyx after. And yeah, he was just laying there, stinky. Meat was all good. I mean, it was cold enough. But thank God Logan was there, a real deer tracker.
Yeah.
Side nose.
Logan, the fisher, the hunter, the tracker.
You need to get your name on the Grand Traverse County dog trackers.
Oh, Logan.
It's just a portrait shot of Log on a piece of paper.
They usually have the name of the guy, his phone number,
The handler.
and then Logs will just say no dog.
Just
Parentheses,
me.
just me.
Log and Log.
So yeah, we
Ruthie might come out. Who knows?
found him. We
Just for companionship, though.
found him. We dragged him out. It's a lot farther than I thought it was to where I was parked. You don't realize it until you have a deer in a jet sled behind you.
Oh,
Well,
you
sled's a
use
pretty
the
good
sled.
Yeah, Pete left his jet sled the night before, just in case, thankfully. We
Yeah.
dragged him back, and I ended up hooking him up to the trailer hitch of the truck and driving him about a half mile down the road to gut him because I knew I still wanted to hunt this area. There's other deer. So I gutted him away from where I was hunting. And that was it. Hung him in the garage. He dressed at 120 pounds or so.
Oh, that's a good deer.
He's probably a year and a half deer, but he was thick antlers, especially for state land.
Are you going to go back there, that spot?
If I have time. I might try and go last Thursday this week, which is the last day rifle, and bow season all depends on life. The holidays are pretty crazy. But now, yeah, we got some meat in the freezer. I'm a happy boy. My heart is settled.
You got your buck this season?
Yeah, were you kind of freaking out? Like,
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's 16 hours there between when I shot the deer and when we found it. And you're just like, did I hit him? Did I not hit him? What the coyote's gonna get him?
Well, Logan was
Where the
talking
hell
about
did
the
he
same
go?
thing. He's like, you hit him, and you think you hit it right, and then you're like, it
The
kind of
bl-
sets
you're like, the
in.
blood was
did
good.
I hit him right?
so what happened with yours?
So I was
eventually the internal kind of plugged the hole.
Yeah, so I was sitting up in a tree stand, which is this is the first time I've ever rifle hunted out of a tree stand. But I could see where I was at a lot farther in the swamp, being up in the tree. And because he came out, he's about 25 yards when he came out of the cedar thicket behind me. He and he was quartering, I think, towards me a little bit. The shot hit him. It was a little far back, but it was a decent shot because of the angle. It came out his stomach. So that
His brisket.
yeah, his brisket.
So farther up.
So it plugged the hole with his stomach. So the blood, he hit the initial shot, and then the blood squirting everywhere, spraying, moist.
After the heel kick.
After the heel kick, and then eventually he took 10 yards and it plugged the hole, so there's no more blood trail. But when you got a nose like Logan's, you don't need a blood trail.
She the scent trail. Locking in.
Right.
That's sweet though. Congratulations.
Happy boy.